an island nation with a relatively small population. Yet for centuries it ruled vast parts of the world. A country whose ships once controlled the oceans, whose soldiers fought in some of the most important battles in human history, and whose military influence continues to shape global power even today. This is the story of the power of the United Kingdom. But the real question is, how did a small island nation become one of the most powerful military forces in history? To understand that, we must go back several centuries. The military strength of the United Kingdom began with one simple reality: geography. Surrounded by water, Britain realized early that survival and influence depended on controlling the seas. Because of this, the country invested heavily in building one of the most powerful navies the world had ever seen. Over time, the Royal Navy grew stronger and more advanced, developing ships capable of traveling across vast oceans and protecting trade routes around the world. By the 18th and 19th centuries, the British Royal Navy had become the dominant naval force on the planet. With control of the seas came power, trade, and influence. British ships connected continents, protected merchants, and allowed Britain to build one of the largest empires in human history. At its height, the British Empire stretched across Asia, Africa, North America, and Oceania, controlling nearly a quarter of the world's land and population. Because the empire was so vast, people often said the sun never set on the British Empire. But maintaining such a massive empire required more than ships alone. The United Kingdom also built a professional and disciplined army capable of fighting across multiple continents. British soldiers fought in numerous conflicts and colonial campaigns, gradually building a reputation for organization, strategy, and resilience. However, the true test of Britain's military strength came in the 20th century when the world entered an era of global war. In 1914, the First World War began, dragging many nations into one of the deadliest conflicts humanity had ever seen. The United Kingdom became one of the major powers fighting against the Central Powers in Europe. British soldiers fought in brutal trench warfare across the Western Front, where conditions were extremely harsh. Soldiers faced constant artillery bombardments, machine gun fire, mud-filled trenches, and deadly gas attacks. Millions of lives were lost during the war, making it one of the most devastating conflicts in history. After 4 years of brutal fighting, the war finally ended in 1918 with the Allied powers emerging victorious, including the United Kingdom. But the world had not yet seen the end of large-scale war. Only 2 decades later, another, even more destructive conflict would begin. In 1939, the Second World War erupted when Nazi Germany launched aggressive invasions across Europe. Once again, the United Kingdom found itself at the center of a global struggle. One of the most dramatic moments of the war came in 1940 during the famous Battle of Britain. During this period, German forces attempted to weaken Britain through a massive bombing campaign known as the Blitz. Night after night, bombs fell on major cities, including London. Buildings were destroyed, fires burned across neighborhoods, and civilians lived under constant threat from the skies. Despite this devastation, Britain refused to surrender. The Royal Air Force played a crucial role in defending the country by intercepting German bombers and fighting intense aerial battles above British territory. Using advanced radar systems and skilled fighter pilots, the RAF successfully resisted the German assault. This victory However, the United Kingdom still remained an influential global power, particularly through its military alliances and advanced defense capabilities. During the Cold War, the United Kingdom became one of the most important allies of the United States and Western nations in their rivalry against the Soviet Union. In 1949, Britain became one of the founding members of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, also known as NATO. This alliance was created to ensure collective defense among member nations. The idea was simple. If one member were attacked, the others would come to its defense. Today, the United Kingdom remains one of the strongest military contributors within NATO. Modern British military power is built around 3 primary branches: the British Army, the Royal Navy, and the Royal Air Force. Each branch plays a vital role in protecting the nation and supporting international security missions. The Royal Navy continues the long maritime tradition that helped build Britain's power centuries ago. Today, the Navy operates highly advanced warships, submarines, and aircraft carriers capable of projecting military power across the globe. Among the most important ships in the fleet are the aircraft carriers HMS Queen Elizabeth and HMS Prince of Wales. These massive ships act as floating military bases capable of launching fighter jets and helicopters anywhere in the world. They allow Britain to deploy air power far from its own shores and support Allied operations in distant regions. Another key element of British military strength is its nuclear deterrent. The United Kingdom is one of the few countries that possess nuclear weapons. These weapons are carried aboard submarines as part of a strategic deterrence system designed to prevent potential enemies from launching attacks. The logic behind nuclear deterrence is simple. If an enemy knows a devastating response is guaranteed, it becomes far less likely that an attack will occur. The Royal Air Force also plays a crucial role in maintaining Britain's security. The RAF operates advanced fighter aircraft designed for both defensive and offensive operations. Modern jets, such as the Eurofighter Typhoon and the F-35 Lightning II, represent the cutting edge of aerial combat technology. These aircraft are capable of flying at extremely high speeds, while carrying advanced weapon systems and radar technology that allow them to detect and engage threats at long distances. Meanwhile, the British Army remains one of the most professional and experienced ground forces in the world. British soldiers are trained for a wide range of missions, including peacekeeping operations, counterterrorism, humanitarian assistance, and coalition warfare alongside allied nations. The Army also includes some of the most elite Special Forces units ever created. One of the most famous is the Special Air Service, commonly known as the SAS. The SAS is widely considered one of the best Special Forces units in the world. Its members undergo extremely difficult training designed to prepare them for high-risk missions such as hostage rescues, counterterrorism operations, and covert military actions. Because of its effectiveness and reputation, the SAS has inspired many other countries to create similar elite units. Today, the United Kingdom continues to modernize its military for the challenges of the future. Warfare is changing rapidly with new technologies such as cyber warfare, satellite systems, artificial intelligence, and advanced drones becoming increasingly important. British defense strategy now focuses not only on traditional military strength, but also on intelligence, technology, and global partnerships. Even though the world has changed dramatically since the days of the British Empire, the United Kingdom remains one of the most influential military powers on the planet. Its history, alliances, and technological capabilities ensure that it continues to play an important role in maintaining global stability. From wooden warships that once sailed across uncharted oceans to modern stealth aircraft flying at supersonic speeds, the military story of the United Kingdom is one of innovation, resilience, and global influence. And as the balance of power continues to evolve in the modern world, one question still remains: what role will the United Kingdom play in shaping the future of global security?